Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to ATN Bangla. I am Nazia Khan with the news. First, the headlines. People will choose him who will render development, says Dhaka North mayoral candidate Anisul Haq during campaign. Tabit Awal expresses doubt about fair election. The government is bent upon removing BNP from the city polls, alleges wife of Mirza Abbas. BNP Jamaat-backed councillor aspirants in Chittagong conducting campaign freely, whereas in Dhaka many such candidates go in hiding. And the Prime Minister attends 4th plenary session of the Asian African Summit in Jakarta. She holds talks with Prime Ministers of Palestine and Indonesia. Now on to the details. Mayoral candidates of Dhaka City Corporation election are passing busy time in last-minute campaigning. The mayoral candidate backed by Awami League in Dhaka North, Anisul Haq, has urged the voters to cast their ballot to elect such candidates who would stay by the side of the people in their joy and sorrow and work for them. He was carrying out mass contact at a number of places including Gulshan 1 and 2. Tejgaon and Uttoran also took part in several wayside meetings today. Meanwhile, the BNP-supported mayoral candidate for Dhaka North, Tabit Awal, has expressed doubt to the journalist about a fair election. He expressed the apprehension while conducting mass contact at Middle Badda, Merul Badda, Rampura and Bonani today. Afroza Abbas, wife of BNP-backed mayoral candidate in Dhaka South, Mirza Abbas, has alleged that the government has been creating unstable atmosphere in a planned way to keep BNP away from the city corporation election. She made the allegation while electioneering at Iskapan, Dhaka University, Dhaka Medical College and adjacent areas in the capital this morning. Afroza Abbas said the Election Commission at first spoke of deploying the army as a striking force, but now saying that they will remain in the barrack. She expressed her doubt whether the election would be fair under the changed circumstances. BNP Standing Committee member ASM Hannan Shah has termed the Election Commission's decision with regards to deployment of army in the city polls as eyewash. Speaking at a news conference at the city residence of BNP-backed mayoral candidate for Dhaka South, Mirza Abbas said the government has been attacking the motorcade of Khaleda Zia, being certain of their defeat. Claiming that a mass upsurge has been created in favor of BNP-backed candidates, Hannan Shah said his party would by no means move away from the election. Meanwhile, BNP leader Dr. Asaduzzaman Ripon at a news conference at the BNP central office at Noya Palton has again demanded deployment of army with magistracy power immediately. BNP Jamaat-backed council aspirants in Chittagong City Corporation's polls have been conducting campaign freely, whereas in Dhaka many such candidates are remaining in hiding. They are also carrying out their electioneering side by side with Awami League-backed councillor aspirants. However, some candidates have alleged that though the administration is not creating any hassle, the rival candidates are posing obstructions in the campaign. The CMP commissioner said no one is being harassed by police for political reason. Afro-Asian leaders in the 4th plenary session on the second day of the Asian African Summit discussed strategies to overcome common challenges and development in both continents through stronger South-South cooperation. Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina and Prime Minister of Egypt Ibrahim Mahmoud were the co-chairs of the 4th plenary session. Heads of state and government from Pakistan, Palestine, Bahrain, Nigeria, Malaysia and Libya spoke at the plenary session. Sheikh Hasina held bilateral meetings with Palestinian President Rami Hamdallah and Indonesian President Joko Widodo immediately after the plenary session. Besides, she held talks with Nepalese Prime Minister Sushil Koirala. Later, the Prime Minister went round an exhibition showcasing traditional dresses and artifacts of Indonesia held at the conference center. Earlier yesterday, Sheikh Hasina, in her keynote address at the summit on the inaugural day, emphasized on enhancing cooperation among the Asian and African countries to curb terrorism. The Prime Minister is expected back home tonight after the 3-day visit to Indonesia. There is no separate fund in the Prime Minister's office for the victims of Rana Plaza collapse incident. Stating this, DG Administration of Prime Minister's Office, Kobir bin Anwar, said assistance are being provided to the affected people from the Prime Minister's Relief and Welfare Fund. Speaking at a news conference, he called for verifying if anybody has any doubt over the assistance given to Rana Plaza victims on behalf of the Prime Minister. Kobir bin Anwar hoped that charge sheet relating to cases of Rana Plaza incident would be given within the next 1 month. Now a break. We'll come back with more. Welcome back to ATN Bangla English News. 2 people were killed and at least 15 others injured when a passenger bus turned turtle at Manikchori of Rangamati this morning. The injured have been admitted to Rangamati General Hospital. Doctors said the condition of 2 among the injured is critical. The passenger bus was bound for Ghilachori Bazar in Rangamati. 1 person died on the spot while 16 others were injured. Later, one of the injured died on way to hospital. Industries Minister Amir Hossain Amu has warned that the tanners will be compelled by legal process to relocate the tanneries to Savar from the capital if it is not done within the deadline specified by the government. He said this while visiting the development work of the Central Waste Treatment Plant of the Leather Industries Complex at Horindhara under Hemayatpur in Savar. At this time, the minister expressed resentment and dismay at the absence of visible development work for relocation of the industry there. MP Dr. Enamur Rahman was among others present during the visit. UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon has described the death of hundreds of migrants off the coast of Libya as a humanitarian tragedy that should shock the global conscience. He said the Mediterranean is fast becoming a sea of misery, with more than twice as many migrants dying at sea in the past year than the ill-fated Titanic. The International Organization for Migrant People in a survey said the death toll in the Mediterranean in 2014 was 3,279, which may rise to 30,000 this year. Meanwhile, Italian Prime Minister Matteo Renzi has called for direct action against people smugglers. He described them as the slave traders of the 21st century. A draft statement for Thursday's meeting in Brussels says leader will commit to undertake systemic efforts to identify, capture and destroy vessels before they are used by traffickers. After completing whitewash mission in the 3-match ODI series against Pakistan, the Tigers are to take on the visitors in the lone T20 match with the same determination to keep the winning spree unhindered. The match will kick off at 6:30 p.m. at Mirpur Sher-e-Bangla Cricket Stadium. The T20 skipper for Pakistan team, Shahid Afridi, is already in Dhaka. Both the countries are effecting changes in their squad for the T20 match. Liton Das and Mustafizur Rahman have been included in the team for the first time, but the final 11 will be announced before the match starts.